The trio is the most essential configuration in jazz. And normally, when we think of a jazz trio, we think of the pianist as being the leader. But in the case of the Red Holt Trio, it's the drummer. Isaac Red Holt leads his current group with Wallace Burton on piano and Penny Pendleton on bass, as he has so many others, from behind a drum kit. And with characteristic modesty, he claims that there is really not much to it.
Basically, you don't have that much to do. A lot of times, like you get the musicians I'm the leader like this. Hey man, what do you guys kind of like to play? I know what I want to play, so I pick out some songs I want to play and think of the arrangements that I want to do, what I want to do creative-wise. And other than that, I like to get suggestions from the musicians, that's the way I like to deal with it, sit down with some tunes and say, just recently, like I say, hey, man, I want to sing one or two now, trying to get my pipes together. Am I insane, or do I really see heaven in your eyes?
After you have heard Red Holt play the drums, you are not surprised to find a singer buried in the rhythm, because he is among the most melodic of drummers in jazz, one who literally makes his drum kit sing.
It's been a frustration all my life, though, Don. It's been a frustration. I think that's why a lot of times I try to play melodically on the drums. I try to make the drums say what they're singing. They're writing songs of love, but not for me. See, and I can't. So I said, well, okay, now I'm the leader. So hey, I can try it.
Holt first made it big on the national scene, along with bassist L.D. Young, as a member of the original Ramsey Lewis Trio, a group that managed to cross over onto the pop charts and become one of the most popular groups in the history of jazz, selling huge numbers of records and gaining recognition far beyond the normal jazz audience without ever losing touch with their Chicago jazz roots.
The original Ramsey Lewis Trio had been together when I got out of the service in 1956 or 57. And we stayed together as a trio. We had played together before that with a band named the West Side Clefs. But we got drafted, and some of us got drafted and went off to the Army and came back, and we formed that trio. And that trio, I think, was like 56. We was hanging at 56 and 65.
And when did the In Crowd hit?
When the In Crowd hit in 65, and that's when everybody decided to go their own ways, And after that, L.D. Young and I formed Young Holt Trio. And later we changed that into Young Holt Unlimited. And L.D. Young and I stayed together until about 1974, 75. Just recently, L.D. and I, we just did a little reunion tour with Ramsey Lewis.
As Holt has continued to work his professional career, both here and abroad, he has always found time to give something back to his Chicago community, taking jazz into the schools and providing his own workshops and performance space for young musicians.
I was with a program, the Urban Gateways. And the Urban Gateways, we take the arts into the classroom. And not only did they have jazz, they had artists that would paint, they had sculpture classes, they had anything dealing with the art, they would take it. But I was one of the top performers for the jazz. I enjoyed that. Those are two most things, like working in the schools, and I had this workshop called the Gumption Performing Artist Workshop. You get a fulfillment out of this. You get a fulfillment out of this because when you own a gig, and most of the time you go in a club, and unless it's a club you like or the club owner or somebody, a lot of times it's a hassle. Sometimes you don't enjoy it. So, but working like in programs like that and working with your own workshop where you can play what you want to play.
He plays what he wants to play with incredible skill and care, but also something more. You can hear it in the music and see it in the man in live performance. His energy is always picked up by the musicians in the group. There is always humor and that astonishing energy combined with warmth. And there is the lyricism of his rhythmic approach, a musical essence emanating from a big heart and an expansive soul. There is something in the music of Red Holt that always makes you feel that it's good to be alive. You recognize immediately that he plays not just to make a living, but rather as a way of living, as fully and completely as possible.
There's luck, and then there are blessings. So a lot of times I feel like the Creator, if nothing's happening for me here, then the Creator got a reason for it. And I just try to get real positive about it and say, well, I'm going straight on ahead with this. I'm going to go straight ahead now, because you just can't look back. You just got to keep stepping.
Thank you.